Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today is November 1st, and November is Epilepsy Awareness Month. And this PowerPoint is of what everyone should know about this disability. So to start off, I'm going to give you a little terminology that you should familiarize yourself with. Epilepsy is a neurological disorder in which nerve cell activity in the brain is disturbed, causing seizures, which are a sudden, uncontrolled electrical disturbance in the brain. So you just have all these synapses just firing off, and it causes a seizure, which basically many people, when they're having seizures, you think of someone just flopping around like a fish out of water. Well, not everyone does that. Seizures vary. Some seizures are mild, some are very severe, but we'll go on to that later. And neurology, branch of medicine dealing with disorders of the nervous system, including epilepsy. So if you go to see a neurologist, they are the doctors that would treat an epileptic patient. So that is the terminology. Let's get on to the actual presentation now. So, types of seizures. We have the tonic-clonic, which formerly known as the grand mal, which means big bad. Then you have tonic, clonic, myoclonic, absence, and others. Tonic is when the body stiffens up, like a cardboard box. Clonic is when you have the convulsions, so you look like you're a fish out of water. Myoclonic is somewhat more minor of the two. Absence, you look like you're daydreaming. So, for the sake of this PowerPoint, we're going to talk about tonic-clonic seizures, which are the type of seizures that I have. They are characterized by stiffening in the body at the beginning, the tonic, followed by convulsions, the clonic. And these seizures can be mild or violent during the clonic phase, so you can be convulsing mildly, or you can be having extremely violent convulsions. You're just thrashing around insanely. And here is what you should do if you see someone have a seizure. First step, always remain calm. If you're not calm, you're going to be of no help. You're just going to make things worse. Time the seizure. You always need to time it. Look at your watch, pull out your phone, and I'll explain why you time it later. Protect their head from anything that could cause an injury, because if they suffer head trauma, that's a guaranteed trip to the ER. And let the person have the seizure. What I mean by have the seizure is don't pin them down, as that will not end the seizure like some believe. Get ready to hold them in a way so they won't injure themselves, but don't pin them like you would pin someone in a wrestling match. Just let them seize. Let it happen. Some seizures last longer than others. As the seizure begins to fade, which means the convulsions slow down, they start to come back to reality. They start talking and vocalizing. You need to roll them onto their side, because excess saliva is produced during the seizure, causing the classic foaming, like a rabid dog, which can obstruct the airway. And this will allow them to spare drool it out. People also vomit after having a seizure, so that will help in that instance as well. If the person has regained some consciousness, speak to them quietly and calmly. Again, if you're not calm, you're not going to be able to help. If you're stern or loud, it could kick in the fight or flight reflex, which can result in you getting injured by a nasty punch or kick. I have done that to my father. Spoke loudly, I freaked out, I broke his nose. When the person relaxes, they may relieve themselves. And this is normal, so don't worry over it. By relieve, I mean pee on themselves, which is normal. When I have a seizure, sometimes I'll do that. So sometimes people poop as well. After having a seizure, all I usually do is pee on myself. I've never really crapped on myself or anything. Take a look at the time again. If the seizures exceeded 5 minutes, call 911. Do not leave the person. It can take a few seconds to a few hours for them to fully recover. If you leave a person who's just had a seizure to fend for themselves, that's not going to be very good. So when it comes to calling emergency services, not all seizures are emergencies. Call 911. The person has never had a seizure before. If they are type 1 or type 2 diabetic, if they have sustained an injury that has led to them bleeding, if they've had trauma, they're bleeding out their nose, their eye, their ear, their mouth, any blood or any bruising on the head or neck, call 911. The seizures lasted more than 5 minutes. The seizure occurred underwater because their lungs could have filled up with water, and you do not know if all the spitting and everything got rid of all the water. They could suffocate. And they could literally still drown, even though they've recovered from the seizure. The person is pregnant. Second seizure occurs before the person is fully recovered from the first, so that means... And here I go, burping again in all my videos. Why do I do that? What I mean by that is, let's say a person just had a seizure and they're coming out of it, and a minute later they go into a second seizure. Call 911. And if the person who had the seizure requests a 911 call. So what causes seizures? Seizures are normally unpredictable, but several scientific studies have linked everything below as possible cause. Animal envenomation, such as being bitten by a snake that uses neurotoxins to kill its prey. Strobe lights, which is too much activity for the brain to process at once. Infections like bacterial and amoebic meningitis, encephalitis, and infalleri is amoebic meningitis. So ignore that one. Well, don't ignore it, but you know what I mean. Drug abuse, brain damage during childbirth, brain injury from an accident, like a car accident, brain damage during childbirth. You're the child. So if you come out and you look like a cone head or something, that could come back to bite you in the butt later. Brain tumors, diabetes, electrical shocks, all can cause seizures. And the treatments that are available for epilepsy are meds, surgery, and service animals. So a surgery that I've had relates to having an implant of a device called a vagus nerve stimulator. The vagus nerve carries an extensive range of signals from the digestive system and organs to the brain. So basically it's all over the place. VNS device can deliver controlled shocks to stimulate the body during a seizure, cutting it short or sometimes even preventing, though prevention is not a guarantee. Seizure alert service animals. Most of these are dogs. Actually, pretty much all of these are dogs that are trained to perform medical tasks for their animal, for their handler. Seizure alert dogs can detect an oncoming seizure, warn their handler before the seizure occurs, so the handler can take precautions, so they can get somewhere safe, or they can call someone to say, hey, my dog just alerted that I'm about to have a seizure. Come get me or something. Or if their dog alerts them, and they're driving, they can pull over. Because people who have epilepsy, they can still drive. Their license is suspended for about 3 months after every seizure. At least that's how it works here in Texas. The dogs have an incredible sense of smell that can catch the scent of the specific molecules released prior to and during a seizure, which is really incredible. So definitely got to give thumbs up to the dogs on these. And molecules are often released long in advance of a seizure, up to 45 minutes. That's how much time a handler can have to prepare for their seizure. They can have 45 minutes if they have a seizure alert service animal that has been well trained, of course. Please spread this information, as this is such a serious disability. Like and subscribe to my channel. I hope you have been educated on epilepsy. Drop a like, drop a comment if you support epileptics. We epileptics, we go through a lot in life. We can still live, obviously, we just can't live a 100% normal life. But we appreciate it if everyone out there understands or gets at least a better understanding of what we have to go through. It makes us feel a lot better knowing that people know general information about epilepsy, knowing that we can get help if we're ever caught in an emergency situation. So if you ever see someone have a seizure, look back at this video, look at the steps that I went through on what to do during a seizure. And with that being said, I just want to thank you guys one last time, and I will see you in the next video.